This is Karen, and this is the 4th or 5th time that I've started this video today. So I'm hoping that this time it's going to go fine. Okay, these are the cards we're going to make today. Yes, I said cards. As you can see, they all have a very similar front, but they do look a little bit different. They're great to have on hand or to mass produce really quickly so that you've got plenty of cards on hand. The card sets the stamp sets we're using today are Falling Flowers and Happy Happenings. We're going to use this flourish or filigree or whatever you want to call it from Falling Flowers. You can use any of the flourishes that you may have on hand. I'm just using this because it was easy to lay my hands on. And we're going to use the Happy Happenings stamp set for all of the greetings and the phrases that go with the cards. Okay, now as you can see, I've used this quite a bit today. So what I'm going to do is I'll start off stamping and then I'll fast forward it so that you get the drift. I will use this for another set of cards anyway. Alright, and all I do is ink the stamp, move it across a little bit, ink the stamp, move it across. Now as you can see, I'm using Daffodil Delight on this one. You can use whichever colour you like, but because I'm matting it on black, I actually thought it'd look nice in the yellow, and it does. Okay, I'm going to fast forward. Okay, as you can see, the piece has been fully stamped, so on with the rest of the video. Right, as you can see, I've finished doing all of this, so now it comes time to trim it all up. And the way we do this is I'm going to cut it at 3 inches. It's actually an inch and a bit narrower than my, sorry, I have to turn this way so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm putting it at 475, so it's actually an inch. When I say 475, I mean 4 3/4 inches. So as you can see, we've got those 2 pieces left and a long piece left that you could use on other cards. I might actually use those on cards coming up in the coming weeks. But for now, we have these 4 pieces all trimmed to size. Okay, now I've already got my card blanks ready. So I've got a couple of side folding cards, and then I've got a couple of tent fold. I can tell the difference because I've got my marks on the back of them. So now I've also trimmed up 4 pieces of basic black from a 12 by 12 piece. So now we're just going to mount these. So I'll be back once I've finished mounting them. Okay, as you can see, I've got all of these mounted now, and they've each got a narrow border. I'm now going to flip them over and pop some black foam onto the back of each. Now you've seen me do this in other videos, so I'll just go ahead and I will fast forward through this. Okay, so we're bringing the cards, and all I'm going to do is mount them to the middle of each of the front of each of these cards. Oops. And as I said, at the moment they all look alike, and that's fine. You could keep them all looking like this and just have some sentiments put by, and then as you send the cards out, just pop the sentiments on. And if you're giving them to somebody else, you could print out a heap of different sentiments and just include them in the gift box so that they could actually pop their own sentiments on. Okay, so that's a side folding, that's a top folding, that's a side folding, that's a top folding. Whoops. Okay, so they're ready to go. So now we bring out our sentiments for each of them, and I've just got a piece of the stamped card that I'm going to pop the sentiments on, and I've also pre-cut some black cardstock for mounting mats. Okay, so the first one is thank you. So I'm just going to pop this on, and I'm stamping all of the sentiments in basic black. Now remember, with the archival it's a different type of pad, so twist and pat. And there's the thank you, came out nice and clean. Now I'll just clean this off with my Stampin' scrub, which already has some mist on it. It's alright, I've just thrown it away. If you could see the state of the desk that's around my work area here, you'd wonder how I managed to find anything. I'll just get all of the stamps out that I'm going to need for this one, for this particular video. I should have had this done before, I know, but as you all know, I'm totally not organised at the best of times. Okay, so the next one, we've already done thank you. We'll do it's your day, or today's the day, and it doesn't matter whether I stamp these straight or not, because I'm going to be die cutting them anyway. The next one is happily hitched. Remember, twist and stamp, and it'll give you great coverage. Beautiful. And the last one for the outside sentiments is congrats. Beautiful. See how nicely they stamp? Okay, so I'll pop that away just for a few minutes, and I'll be back in a minute once I have die cut all of these out. Hi, welcome back. As you can see, I've die cut all of the sentiments and I'm now ready to mount them. So with the congrats, I'm just going to pop that on a piece of black card, like so, and then just trim around it with a larger pair of scissors so that you've got more of a chance of getting a straight line. And then just follow the flag end, and there's the congrats done. Now the rest of them are really easy, just some snail on the back, and as long as you line up the three sides, you should have it fairly evenly mounted like so. Last one. If there are any sticky edges at all you need to do is, if you haven't got one, you need one of these. It's an adhesive remover. Brilliant. Everybody should have one in their stash. Okay, so we've got all of these done. I'll just pop all the stamps off there so that they're out of the way. And we'll bring the cards back in. Now I also need to bring the foam back in. And I'm going to just add a little bit more snail to the back of this one, because I'm going to actually cut this up into pieces to go on the back of these. Since I've already got the in error putting the snail on the back of this, it'll come in really handy now. And then, right, this one is, oh, see, we've got a little bit of glue on the back of there. Roll that over and it's gone. Okay, so this is a top folding. So as I said, it doesn't really matter which ones you put where. It's another top folding, so whichever ones I pick up, I'm popping down. This is a congrats, and this is a side folding. So I'll just pop that one there. Another side folding, and it's the lucky last, and we'll do a thank you. Might have pop that up there. Now, to make them all look that little bit different, because as you can see they're all looking quite similar now, I have a cup here, and inside we have some of the flowers, the mini flowers. These are from the Itty Bitty Accents punch pack, which is no longer available, but any little flower punches you may have in your stash would be great, or you could use some of the mini flowers from our flower bunch punch, I think it's called. But anyway, I've got these ones done. I will have a few suggestions linked to my online store on my blog post. If you don't have flowers, you might like to go and purchase a punch from my online store. Now, the fun bit, popping the flowers down. Okay, so we've got those all looking a little bit different. So I've got some of these really tiny pearls here. Then when I was a kid, I used to love my mum's flower called a black-eyed Susan. She used to have it growing all over the place. And I loved those little yellow flowers with the black eyes. So using a few black rhinestones that I had in my stash, I made these into black-eyed Susans. Now all I'm going to do is go around each flower and lift up the petals like so, to give just a little bit of dimension. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll do the rest of those off camera. Now the last thing I wanted to do, because we've got all of these sayings, all of the front ones, and we've got matching sentiments for inside each of the cards, I'm going to pop them on. And as I said, it doesn't really matter if you're a bit off, a bit skew with. Oh, almost did the unthinkable then. You can either stamp it again on a piece of white and pop it back in there, or there we go, just to add a little bit of extra decoration inside. There we go. So, pop all of this aside. And here are, I'll get rid of that mess down the bottom there. There we go. And there's today's cards, complete with the sentiments inside. I hope you've enjoyed today's cards. I know it went for a little bit longer, but never mind. I'm sure you thought it was worth it. I know I did. Okay, if you haven't seen my Sunday sketches, they're on Sunday nights, Australian Eastern Standard Time at 7:30. And as I said, there's Friday Frenzy every week at 9 o'clock in the morning at Australian Eastern Standard Time. Sometime in the next week, I'll also put an off the cuff up, which will showcase how I put these together into a presentation box. Okay, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.